Hello and welcome to Master Manual, a practical guide for DMs, GMs, and just wanna BMs, and other folks too. This is a podcast where we answer questions and talk about role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but mostly from the DM perspective. My name's Spencer.
I'm Cohen.
Oh shit it is. Oh shit we are.
That's us.
They, us, we Master Manual.
All right.
What's up, man? How have you been?
I've been really good. I've had a nice week. I'm back on the medication that I need to function as a human.
Oh, wow. How's that going?
Much more functional.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It whips ass, actually.
Yeah.
Attentive readers or listeners even might be able to listen to some episodes from the end of season 1 and hear my slow descent into insanity.
Like there's the little chyron in the bottom. It says like in episode 3, Cohen stopped taking.
Yeah, pretty much. Here's where he ran out entirely.
Yeah.
Here's where he was getting up at 3 to stack boxes. That didn't help.
Defeated the rhino.
There wasn't a rhino.
That's an enemy in Spider-Man, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I did
know.
defeat the rhino in the video game Spider-Man. I pretty much don't remember playing that entire game.
That's typical.
I was out of my mind.
Yeah.
But now I'm better.
Damn.
Take your medicine, kids.
Yeah, get ready to hear this new and enhanced persona on pod. And if you don't like it, no.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
tell Cohen to
that's very problematic if you don't like it.
Yeah,
really,
what the fuck is wrong with you? If you don't like it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You have to like this season a lot more because I'm healthier now.
Yeah, you have to appreciate that. Otherwise, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Not us.
Okay.
All right.
Well, how about you? How have you been doing?
I don't know. Fine, more or less.
Exploring the dungeon of the Madden Mage.
Yeah, I've been reading that. And then that was like, it keeps talking, it's like saying all this stuff, talking about all these factions and saying, oh, there's a were-rat and such. And
The were-rat faction?
Yeah, there is. I don't want to tip too much like stuff in the middle of it.
Yeah, because you're going to run it and I'm going to play in your game.
I'm biting around the edges, but like in the Mad Dungeon or whatever, I was like, it kept talking about like the water deep, and it also starts you at level 5, and then
Sick.
Dragon Heist is supposed to take you to level 5. So it's like they designed these to be used together more or less. But when I was reading the dungeon one, it made me want to read the Dragon Heist. And so I've been reading Dragon Heist and I was like, man, this stuff is crazy. One of the things it does is it's kind of like 4 adventures in one because it makes a big show of the different seasons, right? So it's like, oh, you can have the campaign in spring or summer, fall and winter. And depending on what season you pick, it'll have like a different antagonist plan. You can definitely use, like, you could take the spring antagonist and do it in winter or whatever, but it kind of just lays it out.
That's really cool. That's
right.
Like, that gives you a lot more bang for your book.
Yeah, your book buck. And just for them also, because they give you these encounter maps and they're like, hey, if you're using the encounter map for this villain, then it's going to have this guy and he's going to have milk and he's going to be like, oh, the milk. And if you come here and the other time, it's going to be this guy, he's like, my leg's broken, or whatever. But so like it's the encounter maps with the same physical features, but then like it twists them very widely depending on what kind of thread you're following. And in that sense, it's using the same resources and maps and getting 4 different adventures out, of content out of it into a whole book. So it's taking what might not be an entire book and padding it out in not a negative way, like in a way that's actually just giving you more usable content that you could use in the same thread to like make it double the length do it multiple times.
That sounds especially useful for something that's taking you from 1 to 5 because it means you can use it for like different groups.
Yeah.
Because like as we've talked about, not all groups make it past like level 5.
No, they better not.
I just found out that we're going to be resuming play in the game that I play in that I haven't been. We've been on hiatus for a little bit.
Right.
Somebody had jury duty, and we're going to be resuming play, and I'm very excited about it.
I can't wait. We got to get some field reports.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here the continuing adventures of Connell Velveteen, the neutral evil
monk.
No, he's a half-elf sorcerer with a hellhound.
Right.
Named Chartreuse.
Chartreuse. Well, anytime I hear Chartreuse, I think a Chartreuse bubblegum machine.
Well,
I think that's a cartoon band from
the Archies?
Angry Beavers, I think, now that I mention it.
That's a deep cut, my man.
Remember that shit? Holy.
I do.
Oh, well.
There was a cool bear.
Yeah, man. It's the coolest bear. No, all the animals are kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do want to do the segment that we call UCB&D. Remember that? You came up with that name.
Yeah, I was really riding the raw.
That was good.
Yeah.
Right in the raw.
That's what I call it when I'm on my Adderall.
Right in the raws. Number 3 from UCBand.com.
That's not a website.
No, it's not.
Or it should be. We should register it.
It's from improvencyclopedia.org.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, you don't have to be funny. The hidden riddle of improv is that the harder you try not to be funny, the more funny your scene is going to be. Why? Because it's the very best kind of improv scene you can do, because... This is more bad grammar. The very best kind of improv scene you can do is an interesting scene, not necessarily a funny one. When you do an interesting scene, a very surprising thing happens. The funny comes out all by itself. The best ways to go to stick to your character. The best ways to go are to stick to your character, stick to the story that is being told, and to stay within the reality of the scene you are playing. So it kind of hits funny, which is not the point of D&D, so we're going to have to twist that. But do you have any immediate insights? I got some ideas.
I don't even think we need to twist it. I think you don't have to be funny is something that a lot of people could learn in a lot of settings, especially as the DM.
Well, a lot of my audiences might learn that because they might take away, oh yeah, it's all about having fun and making dumb shit up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you play all your players are a bunch of sort of chucklefuck clown shoe types.
Right.
Right, sort of like they come in with their banana cream pies and
their red faces,
their red noses, their comical rainbow wigs, and they're
looking to yuck it up.
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
I do think there can be a pressure, especially in a group, to be like, especially if your exposure to all of these concepts comes from podcasts where professional improvisational comedians are playing this game
and making a fool of me.
Yeah, then they think you got to be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that, okay, in D&D, what we have is that problem. When we tape Harmon Quest, that's a problem I interpret, where the person is like, oh, my job on stage is to be super funny and to keep the audience laughing. But as a person who's making the show, what I would prefer is that person to commit to what they're doing and throw themselves fully into that. The conceit being, when that happens, when humor inevitably does result, or when organic moments result, those are much better than someone who's like, my job is to perform comedy right now. What we're doing is not performing comedy. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And so that is kind of a bit more literal, but expanding that out of comedy, I just think like you don't have to be telling your story. If you substitute comedy for like telling your ultimate DM story that you want to tell, you don't have to like make everything build to the idea and the plan you set. You can just do something interesting and interact with what your scene partners, which are your players, are doing. You can play off of them and go in the directions they lead, even if they don't go anywhere, because they don't go anywhere, because that's playing the game and exploring the world. So that's maybe a different direction we could take it.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's very insightful.
Oh yeah, I'm a real genius.
Fucker.
I'm great. But truly, I think being excess funny can be really bad. I can think of times where there was games where everyone was just telling jokes and everyone was also drunk. I think that's an important point. People think they're way more funny when they're drunk. So everyone was just telling jokes. And I'm like, this is all very stupid comedy and repeated memes from 4chan. I don't like it.
I think there's a particular kind of like, I don't know. Inhabiting your character can be the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Like, and
the most fun thing.
Yeah. And jokes will naturally arise from the tensions of that.
Yeah.
More than like, yeah, I'm over-explaining.
No, that's what I love about nerd humor is it's hard to explain because it's so fundamentally organic to the exact situation and the resemblance to other pop cultural concepts in the moment. Like, because it's like some guy being like, that's just like the Vulcan from Star Trek doing a thing. And, I don't know Star Trek enough to make a reference, but like when you're like, oh, it is exactly like that, that's super funny in a way that's hard to communicate. And it's just because, yeah, everyone gets what we're talking about. It's all like it's this perfect moment of like I don't know what you call it, felicity.
Yeah, there we go.
Not felicity. It's the word that sounds like that. But
verisimilitude.
Yeah, verisimilitude, sure. But it's like that's a beautiful thing, and it just kind of only comes organically. It's not forced. So whatever. I lost my train of thought.
No, I'm following.
I hope I got some concept out there that you guys can cling on to and turn into the real thought I was trying to express.
Klingons.
That's just like my pants. Right. Klingons famously wore pants, right?
Yeah.
Great. That
never took them off.
UCB and D.
Yeah, we really nailed it.
Great. We're great at this.
Let's keep booking along.
It's time for Helga Tusiform, huh?
That's very good.
Helga season Tusiform. Just Tusiform.
All right.
I don't have the music making.
Oh, Musico, the sound wizard.
Machination, the music eye. His eye is musical.
Octoclops, the all-seeing.
Oh, that's cool. Pheromontis, the pointed head.
Strazagod, the thirsty.
Harry Romeo, the poison sleeper.
Paul Hardwick.
Does he do anything? Is he a candle maker?
He's works at a shop.
Tove Larone. Like two names like Tove and then Larone.
He's Swiss.
A Swiss confectioner.
Yeah.
So that would be funny if Switzerland was just a country in D&D. It's like there's D&D, and then you could go take a boat to Switzerland. It's just all fucking normal there.
That's how D&D, like old original D&D, like Gary Gygax's campaign.
Oh yeah.
There's a part where they left the castle and fell through a hole to China.
Oh wow.
And then they had to adventure their way back to Castle Greyhawk.
There's something comforting about me disliking that general trope of what if it was the real world but D&D. And it makes me feel better that the reason I don't like it is because it's the original trope.
Yeah. But it's kind of neat.
It's fine.
It's neat to think about that conceptually we sort of come to these settings as these fully formed things.
Right.
Even the Ravnica guide it's that was 2005 or whatever. And so it's 13 years ago, but still relatively recent, but it's when this stuff was starting out, stuff is still so malleable and unformed.
Sure.
And it gets it gets codified so quickly, but it's to the point where it then sort of becomes sacred. But it's exciting to think it's why I like to DM in entirely original settings that I don't have a fully formed plan for where they are, because I guess we're pretty far from Hell Cruise.
No.
Because I feel like when you lay out the exact rules and world building from the beginning, you're not leaving any blank spaces on the map for your players to find. You're it's like you're putting them in a room where you've covered everything in cloth, and you're inviting them to look under the cloth and see the things. This is kind of an insane metaphor, but I think
no.
You get what I'm saying. It's it's a collaboration, and when you have everything at the start, you're not giving them an opportunity to make their own stuff.
Right.
Carve out their own place in the world.
Stancho Polaris.
Yeah.
But also in addition to that, no, I don't.
Soul Illiquies.
No, I agree though. I just was trying to think of a funny joke. Do you want? Let's do two more each. Outbound.
Okay. Hawaiian Punch.
Fairly the brother.
Fairly. No. Batch Softman.
Haxamon the butcher.
All right, that was Helga Tusiform.
Helga Tusiform for season 2. Yeah, no, I don't know. I wanted to contribute to what you were saying, and then I just lost the thread, and then I was like, now I don't know what he's talking about. And then I was like, now I definitely have to have a joke.
Yeah, I'm gonna get crucified for that one.
Helga crucified.
Yeah.
Do you wanna roll into a question?
Yeah, I love to roll into a question. It's my favorite thing to do.
Oh man, speaking of rolling, Jigglypuff seems to be getting a substantial buff for
a Jiggly buff?
Yeah, an Iggly buff for Smash, and I am here for it.
Ooh, that's cool. I've been sort of avoiding any information.
Sure.
So you've definitely ruined that.
Oh, I didn't mean it.
It's okay.
You don't play Jigglypuff.
I used to.
Oh, damn.
Here's a question. My play group, it doesn't have an answer for who it's from, so I'm going to say it's from...
Let's make one up.
Yeah, it's from...
Hey, do you want to... You know what would be a fun idea if you made up a name?
Okay. The name is... God, if only... the name is Hawaiian Punch. All right.
Oh, man.
My play group leans toward a dungeon crawl, hack and slash style of play with little actual role play. I want to encourage trying a wider variety of play while still giving them the action they want. How could I mix in more RP elements without losing their attention? For example, any time spent in town is just gathering gear and robbing NPCs, then on to the next dungeon. I don't think they'd enjoy a full session with no combat. Really enjoying the podcast and appreciate what you guys are doing. I threw that in there because I knew you would hate it.
Oh.
It is in the message. But.
Well, too bad. I was already thinking of answers, so I was not even affected by that compliment. You're going to have to read it again. No, but do you have any ideas?
I want to hear your ideas.
Okay, so my first instinct is to add variety and role playing to combat. So
yeah,
if it's just monsters, then you add strategy to the monster fights and kind of like complexity, so that there's different options and choices that have to be made. Maybe different objectives in the fight, saving people, someone runs away, a hostage falls in a sock. You hate when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
But then if there's real enemies and people...
Did you say when a hostage falls in a sock?
Yeah, you hate when that happens.
Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry.
It's the bane of all D&D campaigns, I think you'll find. But, yeah, anyway... I think if there's like intelligent NPCs, then they could have real goals. They could try and pull you onto their side or offer you bribery and stuff.
Ooh, factions within a dungeon.
Yeah.
Maybe two. I mean, this is maybe like two different goblin tribes are in a dungeon and they're trying to turn you. They're making like different pleas to the party. Like, look, we'll give you this gold and this we'll give you all this gold, and the other guys are like, we got these cool weapons. You know, whichever you want. Or maybe, try to have one of the players' familiars get kidnapped and stuff like that.
Yeah, just to make it different than let's kill everybody and take all their stuff and leave, just to kind of change that around. And now, I don't know, I've just been reading I'm just gonna keep talking about the most recent thing that's semi-relevant, but I was reading the Tales from the Yawning Portal, and then they have like you encounter kobolds in the beginning, and the kobolds are like, these fucking goblins are on our asses, so like you can get like kobold help fighting the goblins and not fight the kobolds, but you might not think that. And I don't know, just I think the modules do a fair job of giving you alternate concepts other than let's just kill everybody here on no fixed timeline.
Yeah.
And that can maybe give you some inspiration on ways to go for it. But definitely.
What if one of your players got sick? What if one of your players got like some kind of disease or like poison, and then they're trying to they're fighting their way somewhere to get the cure.
Right.
Like maybe they have to fight their way to the up the tower of a mad alchemist who has the only cure, or is the only one who can make a cure to some weird disease that is causing some,
it's sickening the player. That's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, that's great. And so like that would be, you can have 3 combats and then like a social scene where it's like, you have my balls to the bandsaw, but I guess you go into the woods and fight 3 more combats and come back, or so you can have it combat heavy, but just weave plot into it.
Yeah.
But
the thing you said about, I feel like this your understanding of this listener is a bit of a false dichotomy, because you said, I don't think they'd enjoy a session with no combat. You don't have to have that.
Right.
You can have a session. You can almost every session I've ever played that was played well, or that I've run that was run well, was about half and half.
Right. Yeah, and
like 2/3 to a third even sometimes.
Yeah.
Non to combat.
I would say. It certainly depends on the session, but yeah, I mean, you could play without doing any combat. That's something that happens.
That's how you make people care about the combat in a different way.
Yeah, so I don't have any more specifics, but I hope that helps. I think it's just It's just a matter of trying different things.
It doesn't sound like you've tried. Yeah, be brave. It doesn't sound like you've tried a lot of role play.
I would say that it's possible he's thrown things and then they've been all like, oh, we'll kill it. This is great. And so that can be a frustrating thing because it can be hard to anticipate the ways your players will solve given problems. But I mean, there's not but like I said, if they're intelligent players who can, or characters that can make a case for various events to occur outside of combat, like, hey, you don't have to kill me, I'll give you this magic gun, or whatever, then it's like a combat player would love that.
Or it's like, or don't kill me. If you don't kill me, I'll show you the secret way into something to kill this guy and get this stuff. It's like, it can still go to combat, because if combat is what they really enjoy, they're having fun.
Right. And so you wouldn't want to do that instead of the combat, but to make that at the ending instead of them all dying or something, then you dismount out of combat into a scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatevs, Mang. Do you want to do some loot table?
Oh, you know that I do.
Oh, man. So we already rolled. If you're on our Discord, you might have seen me roll 2 times in our loot table Discord.
Oh, man. But, okay, so I rolled, you rolled for me.
I rolled for you. I rolled you a 2, I believe.
Okay. Now I'm going to draw my card. Oh, no.
What'd you get?
I got the tower.
That's a good one, right?
There's, okay.
Because the tower is like masculinity.
Okay. In tarot, there's not necessarily good and bad cards. There are cards that can be good, cards that can be bad, depending on the tower is bad.
Oh,
the tower is sudden upheaval, pride, and disaster.
Pride,
inevitable destruction, and the breakdown of something in our lives which we consider foundational, reminiscent of the Tower of Babel, which was built upon far-reaching human ambition, creating an artificial comfort in our lives. But there is always an upside. When the tower levels, not only do we uncover our own hidden resilience, but we can also rebuild anew with greater inner insight. So it's basically saying sometimes you catch fire, but maybe you can rise from the ashes.
Right, creative destruction. Just as a quick aside, do you know anything about JoJo's Amazing Adventure?
I know about JoJo. I love
is
JoJo.
the tower anyone? Who is that?
It was a spoilers in the next 15 seconds. So there's a whole season where they're having to travel from Japan to Egypt, and they get on a plane because they're just going to be like, oh, we'll just take a plane.
Right.
And the tower is like, it was like a little guy with a bug that like attacked them and caused the plane to crash.
Right.
And they're like, well, we can't take planes anymore because we're putting all these people at risk if we do that. So we'll have to take like other modes of transportation.
Hell yeah.
But it was cool because it like solved a big plot problem, which was, why don't they just
fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's great. JoJo.
It had like a weird
whatever.
tongue. It was a Stardust Crusaders.
A weird bug tongue, right?
Like a long tongue. Yeah, I think I'm remembering the right thing.
Yeah, but there's a new season that I think is coming out right
I'm
now.
watching it. It's good.
I'll wait till it's out all the way. Anyway.
That's fair.
The tower, a monster.
The tower, okay.
A societal... No, is it a monster-ass monster?
It's a monster-ass monster that represents complete destruction. Or upheaval. Something. Destruction. Okay. I'm picturing a horse that. No, I'm not picturing a horse.
Shit.
I'm sorry. I'm just always picturing a horse.
No, it's fine.
Let's see.
We can take time too.
Yeah, maybe something like. It's an egg.
A horse egg.
It's an egg that hatches into a horse.
No. Okay, so it's an egg.
Yeah, it's an egg with little spider legs that come out of it, and it crawls all around.
Great.
And what it does is it hides. It sneaks into a home and finds somewhere to hide. And once it's found the place that it's hiding, it causes incredible bad luck for everyone who lives in the house. Gradually at first, like plates, like, like drop a plate, but eventually like illness and death and like, banditry and fires
Right.
and it when everyone in the house is when everyone in the house who lives in the house's life has just been completely ruined, it can hatch, and what hatches is like a little clutch of eggs, all with tiny little legs, and then those like spread out,
Great,
like and go and find other places.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for it?
It's called the.
I got a pitch, and it's not good.
I was gonna say it's called the hard lock.
Hard lock. Hard cluck.
It's called the hard cluck.
Hard cluck. That's good.
So you got to find it. It's like super easy to kill because it's just an egg, but it's like it doesn't stink or smell bad, and it's just like an egg signing somewhere in your house.
Yeah. And who eats all their eggs?
Yeah. Like it could hide like on top of a rafter or something because he's got his little spider legs. And it would probably take like a month to really like just bring ruin down. So when people, when things start getting bad, they would, there might be a superstition to like see if you can find the egg. So that's what I got. What do you think?
I love it.
Feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's like the opposite of the item from Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, the
one that like gives you extra experience or whatever.
Oh yeah, the what was it?
Like lucky egg or some shit. I don't know.
That's from Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, all sorts of Pokemons, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I rolled a 1, which is a monster of society. Oh, okay. But you have to roll me a card.
All right, I've drawn you.
It was the what? The 2 of Wands?
It is the 2 of Wands. Planning, making plans, and discovery.
Okay.
The transformation of vision and ambition into planning and progress. Starting to move into a way forward. The man beholds the material in which he can make his designs come true.
I rolled this last time and I did Gloom Prints. Not last time, but I think I got this exact roll.
Wait, really?
You remember Gloom Prints? They help people read their minds and their plans. I think that was exactly a societal monster with the 2 of Wands.
All right, well, what do you got this time?
All right, so a societal monster. Great. They're dream creatures. They're made out of dreams. When you dream about them, they become existent. It's not any dream becomes this, but if you just happen to dream of these specific things, that's how they are born. And then they live in the dreams, and then they take things from your dreams to make their society, which is in the collective unconsciousness. And when certain, psychic things happen, the boundaries between minds are like in fluctuations in the weave of magic. So, weird things like that. They might be able to manifest in the real world where they can do telekinesis and manifest illusions as if they're real and do all sorts of crazy things. But they're normally just have strange fairy-like goals, if you will, because they might come to take like a baby or to like steal someone's laughter to make a pie out of or some shit, because they're weird dream creatures. Is that something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you could call them I don't know, it could DreamWorks.
DreamWorks Pictures.
Oh shit, that is already a thing.
Imagineers.
Universal Studio Tour.
Somnambularies. Somnolites.
Somnolites? Yeah, sure.
What's it? Somnomancy?
Somna is sleep.
Yeah, so somnolites is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. It's called a loot table or blute fable.
All right, we did it.
That was loot table or blute fable.
Excellent.
You know what that means.
I think it's time for the break.
Well, actually this episode, and I'm springing this on you, but we're not doing a break. We're just going to talk about our plans, like how I'm planning to make a website for our site, and I was thinking, what would be perfect is Squarespace, the ultimate place to make your own website online.
Is this for real?
It's really just me coming up with all sorts of plans and settling on the obvious choice of Squarespace.
Spencer, I need to ask you if we've gotten a sponsorship from Squarespace.com.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
I hope anyone finds this half as funny as I do.
Spencer, have you ever had this problem where you want to get angry, but you just can't?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you're in a situation that you know should be frustrating, and you're trying to summon that deep volcanic rage, and you just can't get it there.
You know, just the other day, my significant other was like, you know, I would just love it if you just got mad once in a while.
Yeah. Well, now you can.
What?
With Grapes of Wrath.
What?
Grapes of Wrath.
From the makers of Goodberry?
From the makers of Goodberry. Grapes of Wrath are grapes, and you eat one, and it makes you fucking furious.
Oh, shit.
Summon a titanic pillar of rage to take the place of your mortal form. Alienate everyone in your life. Alarm your coworkers. End your career. Grapes of Wrath. They're tiny, tasty fruits that will turn you into a titan.
Oh, man.
And a huge cock.
Forged in the fires of the abyss and grown in the blackened soils of chemic core. Grapes of Wrath are here to solve all your anger potency issues.
Watered with the sweat of a pissed off bull. Tilled with the scythe that was also used to circumcise a guy who would later make a website about how he shouldn't have been circumcised.
Cradled in a barbarian's pectoral muscles.
Man, he was not a happy one.
No, he was currently raging.
Washed in the tears of who's the guy from Justified?
Timothy Oliphant.
Washed in the tears of Timothy Oliphant, like that when he gets that real cry rage going,
and scrubbed across his abs.
Yeah, they're good.
Grapes of Wrath guarantees at least 15 minutes of red vision rage, guaranteed, or your money back.
But you will not be in a place to ask for anything back. You will be in jail.
Right.
A cell.
And that's not on us. That's just, you're going to have to work that out on your own.
No. But maybe if you get angry enough, you can just anger your way right out.
Most people do.
Yeah. Everyone in jail is there because they're not mad enough.
And that's why Grapes of Wrath is right for you. Take it to jails.
And stay there.
See what happens. They look and taste like normal grapes.
Give them to your friends.
Astonish your foes. Liven up holiday parties.
Work some shit out with your dad.
Just make a animal situation dangerous. Grapes of Wrath. Eat them.
You'll regret it.
And we're back.
I sure did enjoy that suite of Prada hugs.
And you know I did as well. And always, oh man, Squarespace, it's what moves you.
That's... Squarespace, obey your thirst.
Squarespace. Toasty.
Squarespace. GoDaddy.com.
As always, use the promo code Squarespace for all of our corporate sponsors. You'll get a discount or not, or a free hot towel service.
Stay the fuck away from my hot towels.
Oh, yeah. We got limited supply. You ready for another question?
I think I am. You know what? I think I am.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's see. We got some compliments.
If you want to send us a question, mastermanualpod@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. We need some questions. So send us some questions.
Yeah.
And we'll answer your questions.
Or we won't. No, we will.
We will.
We've statistically answered most of them, and we'll continue to finish that off.
Yeah. And if we haven't gotten to yours,
we
send
literally
it again.
will. Yeah. Send it again, but we'll probably get it. Send it to our email, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I'm cutting off the beginning and the end of this one. This is from Chris P. So my question, do you have any suggestions for coming up with DCs on the fly? I set up in advance most of the difficulty classes ahead of time on obstacles I know they'll come up against, but the random improv challenges the party forces into existence I seem to either make too easy or too difficult, like when they decide to head to the town hall and research something that the bard in the tavern would have given freely if they paid attention to the song. I like encouraging their investigative nature, but I feel like I make it too easy. If I make it too easy, they aren't challenged enough, but too difficult, and we get stuck on a boring tangent.
Right. Well, it sounds like there's kind of two separate issues they're talking about. One is the skill ranks, and then the other is the actual role playing of it, because they said the bar might have freely given them this intro that then or the info that they're then rolling an investigate check and failing to get. Like, you can kind of just intervene and have an NPC come up and give them that info if you really feel it's that easy for them to get it. And, maybe you don't have them immediately say, hey, you there, do you want to hear this secret? You might like rope them into an interaction that turns into that.
I'm also just picturing adventurers, hear my song.
Right.
Where the dragon dwells ere long.
Ere long. I like it. But yeah, I mean, so like that's the if you don't want them to get into rolling, then try not to get into rolling. You can even just say like, hey, why don't you just talk to someone instead of rolling an investigate check? Like that might be an option. But then there's just the actual meat of what to set a DC class as, or
and that's class. On that bad business. That's on the back of the DM screen.
DM screen. Wait.
Yeah, it's right over. Spencer dropped some serious cheddar on this like gorgeous. It's the core books and also the screen, and they're all special edition, and it's a gift that he's giving to me.
Yeah, you certainly have that excitement about it. I'm sorry. I really wish.
No, it's
thought about that.
I know it's for you. Don't worry, you can get it to me. You can get another one for me for Christmas.
Oh, I know.
By the way, Christmas is coming up, so send if you want to send me presents, just email us and ask if you ever want to send us anything, just email us and ask us, because we'll talk about the stuff that you send us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Somebody sending us some like swords or something. And
right, so we're going to get swords, so when you see the police blotter, like two nerds killed each other, that's why. That's what that's from.
I like the idea of that police blotter because it's very self-contained. It doesn't sound like they had to get involved.
No.
It's like, we died.
It's just someone heard that on the radio. It's like, oh no, it's two nerds with swords, they're dead. And then someone just wrote that down.
It sounds more like a street sweeper blotter. like her bodies got cleaned up on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, well, that's the one in my local paper. That's what it was, basically. Yeah. It's just these little blips. Anyway, it says setting a DC. It goes 5 is very easy, 10 is easy, moderate is 15, hard is 20, very hard is 25, 30 is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So that's that basically. But I was just talking about this on the Discord.
Yeah.
Basically, if you think about...
Quit giving away all the good info on the Discord.
I know. If you think about a D20 as a coin flip, half of it is you fail and half of it is you succeed. So mapping that to the numbers, a 1 through a 10 is a failure, and a 1 through 11 through 20 is a success. So in that, on an easy, not a very easy task, but an easy task is a 10. So that's any person would do that half the time or more. And your adventurers have a bonus, so that's easier than easy to hit a 10. You're going to hit that, maybe 15 out of 20 plus times, and you just kind of go from there. So it's like, oh, if that should be normal difficulty, say about 15, because a normal person would do it in about 10, and your players get a bonus, so call that about 5, and that's 15. And so if you want it impossible, that's 30, because they have to have a plus 10 bonus to even get in the ballpark of being able to hit that at all, and then it's just a matter of degrees.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, just because you thought of a very clever way for them to find something out also doesn't mean that that's the only way that they can find something out.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to always be gated behind rules.
And it doesn't have to always be super difficult. Sometimes they can try things and they work.
Right. And then also it's like you got to take into account your strengths and weakness, because someone who's super stealthy might have a plus 9 to stealth. So like a 15 stealth DC is actually a very low chance. They would have to like get a 4 or lower, say, to fail that. And so that's a lot different. That would be a different DC, and you might want to artificially inflate that versus, say, busting a door down.
Or, I mean, like, the thing is, if somebody's put all their stuff into being stealthy, giving them the opportunity to breeze past something with their kick-ass stealth.
Right.
It's fun for them.
Yeah, but that's just, it's a consideration you have to take. It's not like, not everything's created equal in terms of the difficulty class relative to what aspects each of your players brings to the table. You know, like what's easy for a wizard's different than what's easy for a rogue.
That's a good point, my man.
Yeah, but definitely you shouldn't just say, oh, since you're good at this, it's way harder now. That's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully that can help guide it. I just, again, I think of it as I start from the 10, you know, from the coin flip, the higher or lower, and then I go, how much harder do I want that to be? And then I bump that up, and then I take the player into account and say, how hard is that for that player? And then I adjust it as necessary. If it's like, oh, I want this weak guy to be able to open this door, maybe it's an athletics check of just 10 and not 15, even though it would normally be 15, just because I, again, playing to the question, I don't want to make it impossible for this person. I want to reward that. So, you know, but I'm just usually starting from how hard is this? Is this half the time or is this 3/4 of the time? You know, and go from there. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I hope we've helped.
I fucking love just talking forever, huh? Mm-hmm. I love it. Good thing we have a podcast.
Yeah.
You wanna roll into our next segment that I like to call Gamestorming?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
What are we gonna Gamestorm?
Gamestorming. It would be cool to have music. It would always be cool to have music.
If only you had like several devices to create those.
Oh yeah. If only.
Just thread some in.
Wouldn't it be cool to have like a remix of the intro to the Pokemon battle music? It's like, yeah. And then it's just like games. I don't know. Whatever. It's definitely weird.
Thread that in right here.
Yep. It will or it won't. It'll be great or it won't.
I can't wait to find out in a couple weeks.
Gamestorming. What game we storming?
I don't know. What do you think? What do you got?
You had a pitch.
Do you remember what it was?
It was Mario Kart, right?
Oh yeah, Mario Kart. Specifically Mario Kart Battle N64 Block Fort.
Of course it's Mario Kart 64. What are you even thinking? Come on. So it's battle mode, the Block Fort?
The Block Fort. Yeah.
All right. So this is not what we're doing necessarily. But let's talk about it. Mario Kart, the racers, Mario entities. There's items. What items? Bananas, mushrooms,
shells.
bombs, shells. And then battle mode is
banana peels. Yeah,
you
said that.
And then the question mark box. That's a bomb. It blows up.
Yeah, everybody loves that one.
I think you get the invincibility star. I think that's everything, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the boo, and then maybe the ink. I don't think the ink was there. And the lightning bolt.
And some of these are not in battle mode.
Right. And so and then you have 3 balloons, which are your health, because you can take 3 hits. And then when you die, you turn into a bomb car that blows up?
You can turn into a bomb and you can like hit one more person out of spite.
Right. Or you can miss and just die, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so that's that. Then the map itself, there's 4 primary colored plus green block forts that are connected to each other by 2 bridges or 1 bridge.
There's 4 and then there's bridges.
Right. But there's like there's 2 bridges each, right? There's like a lower and a higher bridge.
Yeah, there's levels, and then there's like a thing going around. Like you can drive between them on the ground.
Right, like they're on a kind of a intersection. There's like a So yeah, but it's 4. So let's make this into. We don't have to do this, but my immediate instinct is like, what if it's like 4 separate like forts on these cliffs or something that are arranged in such a way and have bridges and passage between them, but it's like they're 4 kind of separate. I don't know, warring forts or like siege things. Or
you're taking it that way.
I don't know. Well, this is just getting the ice broken.
I'm thinking your players are put on some different mounts, like maybe horses or like a warg.
Yeah.
And they are cursed such that they cannot get off the mount, and the mount will not stop. So you would need a map for this. And you need to, like, it gets a little bit wargamey because you need to be tracking distance and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
so this is like an arena game. It's like you show up and they're like, you want to engage in the festivities, or you're a prisoner, so you will engage in these festivities.
Yeah, like you've been put into the gladiatorial arena.
Right. And so you get on these mounts that are then in this arena map that is the block fort map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or some approximation.
Right. And do you have 3 balloons?
Yeah, let's say you have 3 balloons.
I could see it still making sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Like a weird Aztec sport.
yeah, and then you just run around.
Right.
You have, oh, you know what? You all have all of your mounts have the fear condition, so they have to move their maximum distance every turn.
Right.
So like it's about that too. It's about trying to be good at that
and trying to like make them go in the direction that you want them to go.
Yeah, and maybe you have some wands with spell charges that can like. Maybe you can like set up like a. This would take a lot of setup, I guess, as a DM, because it feels like you would need some physical props and stuff.
You would certainly need a robust map. I think you could do it on a singular map. It just would. It would definitely be better with props.
I think you could get rid of the multi-level aspect.
I think you could map the multi-level pretty easily on a single map. You just put the bridges over because the bridges just kind of go over standard intersections. It's like you're not missing what's under there. It's like just street.
Maybe you could attack people who are below you but not above you.
Well, it would certainly be a distance that you'd have to map. I mean, I think you get the rules pretty straight away. It's like the mount has to move. You can try and influence the mount's movement. You want to make it get close to the thing so you can attack their balloons. You get power-ups throughout the various stages, so you might want to drag your mount through the power-ups. Maybe if it's the wand thing, it's like everyone gets a wand and the power-ups give you different charges.
Yeah, like
do different
your
effects.
Weapons have been taken, and you have to you sort of have to use this wand.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Like maybe you can start with like, oh, I want a mace, I want a dart, and then but then the main focus is the wand and the power-up. So
yeah.
Shells pretty straightforward. Right? They're like ranged touch attacks of
it would
sorts.
be like you have at 20 yards. You have good, and at 60 you have disadvantage.
Right. Bombs throw.
Maybe sometimes you get a red shell that doesn't have disadvantage at 60 yards.
Right. Maybe that has advantage or even better.
Ooh,
and then bananas are probably just a trap you set on the ground that maybe you can't see it or something. But
maybe bananas make
area.
Difficult terrain.
Right. They can make you get fuck up your mount. Yeah. So you probably could go from there. I mean, that's basically all the rules.
Yeah,
of
we've
what
sort
that
of done
kind
a lot of the
encounter
work for
would be.
you, Jesus.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
So that was Gamestorming, huh?
Uh-huh.
Damn. That means it's time for another question.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, here's a question. Hold on, that's a gif of Venom doing the horn hawk instead. That's just on my phone always.
Sure.
Okay, this comes from Colin. Hey, beloved nerds. Long blah, 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 blah. My group has some downtime in the major city of my campaign, and I've been hoping they'll use the opportunity to ask around or do research or whatever about things they've encountered so far. And it gives some examples. Dragons, sentient swords, a specific hostile cult out to get them, etc. So I can smoothly do some exposition dumping and give them some background information relevant to the world and what's going on with their quest. So all the narrative threads I've been laying around are centered in their heads and all the more fun when they eventually get tied together. I've straight up asked, hey, want to use the resources of the city to learn anything about the things you've encountered or do any other adventuring prep? And then they go buy health potions and set out again without trying to talk to anybody.
That is using the resources of the city.
Yeah. Any advice on how to nudge them into looking into stuff without shoving it in their faces?
Here's some advice.
Shove it in their faces.
You suck. You burnt.
No.
Log off. No.
Stop. Colin,
you burnt.
Colin sent us this nice email.
Stop telling the listeners they burnt. No. Yeah. So here's some tips. Do you got any tips?
Yeah, you got to shove it in their faces. Give them character-specific plot hooks.
Right. So, not to beat a dead horse, but in the Dragon Heist, after the first kind of...
I'm going to look in this book while you're talking.
Yeah. There's this area of downtime, and it sets up, here's all these different factions, and here's why these different factions might come to call for your players. And so... the factions, it sets them all up in the campaign setting, but it's like if your guy's a rogue and they've been doing stuff criminally, maybe this thieves guild says, "Hey, you seem like good thieves. Do you want to work with us? We are always looking for talent." Or maybe if they're going by the book, then the constable of the city is like, "Oh man, the Gray Hands. They've been seeing you do good work, and if you ever want to, put your muscles to good use, come calling. And so all these NPCs, as associates of these guilds and factions, they come and say, hey, come with us. And then they have a location that they take you to. They have narration that gives you information about parts of the city and the plot. And then they have a number of little quests that give you information about the plots and various ancillary supplementary world building information, while also giving you little just downtime things to do. So instead of just saying, hey, do you want to research this cold, be all like, oh man, I'm the sick, the chemists guild, and you're a real cool alchemist, so I thought you might be able to help. Come to my alchemy place, and oh, here's the thing about the sickness, we need these daisies to this old lady. And then it's an actual mission that they're doing. They feel like they're playing the game, but it is downtime because it's not a whole thing. You're just kind of giving them that information that you want to dump, and you're letting them kind of like explore and interact with these. But it's you're putting a character, you're personifying that need. You're not just saying, hey, do you want to do this? You're having a character say, hey, do this. It's the game.
Yeah, that's sort of it. Think about if you were playing a video game, the difference between an NPC coming up and asking you for giving you a quest versus the tutorial, like the tutorial just sort of popping up and telling you what to do.
Yeah, you can use a potion right now or something.
Or it's like, explore the city.
Right.
That's always,
Yeah, like when it's a message that says like talk to townsfolk around the city to blah 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 blah, and it's like, oh, okay,
like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I just think you got to give them express options.
Humanize your hooks.
Right. Give them closed-ended actions and people that want them to do stuff. People with goals.
Yeah.
Great. Well, just great.
Yeah, we did another good job.
Yeah, we did. And that means it's time for animals.
Everybody loves this segment.
Oh, everybody does. Do you want to pick an animal? I want to kick the table.
You did. Yes. Let's say an alive book. A cursed book.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an animal? Is that like a monster? Is that a D&D monster?
Well, we could just invent a cursed book if you'd like.
I guess I was just looking at the book you were holding.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, this might not
this
be
using things we're seeing.
Well, I'm not going to stop now.
Well, what's the race of your Colonel Velveteen?
He's a half elf. That's not exactly.
What's the different kind of half elf?
Oh, you know what would be good? He has a hellhound. He has
right.
a hellhound.
Do you want to do hellhounds?
Yeah, let's do hellhounds.
Okay, hellhounds, dogs, hell, fire, demon.
There are hellhounds usually go after one target. They like pursue them and drag them to hell. That's their thing.
They can spit fire, right?
They can do a little bit. They can move through things
Uh-huh.
in the monster manual.
Right.
And yeah, they got some fire, I think. Some resistance. Why don't you get out of that old monster manual, that beautiful one that you purchased from our friends at Wizards of the Coast?
Bitch, I might. Yep, fire breath.
Okay.
I don't see it being able to move through things.
That might just be my character, like Shadow Sorcerer.
familiars and such. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it does force damage if it ends in the same with them.
That's
cool.
badass.
Yeah, it's a really good. I love it.
Well, okay, so demon, what do we want to twist? What do we want to take out and change?
Okay.
It's an element, obviously. It's a plane. It's an animal.
So typically a hellhound comes for you when you've sold your soul, right?
Right. Well,
Comes to collect your soul.
Sure.
Or I guess that might not be in the lore. That might just be what I'm thinking of.
Let's do it.
Okay, so a hellhound comes to collect your soul. So it's sort of really enforcing a contract.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it wasn't just contracts about selling your soul?
Right.
What if it was a hellhound that came? What if it was like it came anytime anybody reneged on any kind of contract?
So dogs are eternally loyal and they'll love you no matter what. And hellhounds, they're very specific and exacting on their terms.
Yeah. So like, what
they'll
if
love you on Tuesdays?
Well, I was thinking like, what if it's like a dog that enforces the law?
Oh, so he's not like, well, how? So
they enforce legal contract. Like every
Right.
time, like when a contract is signed, it's something that you can like two people, they can invoke this as part of the contract.
That part I get.
Is that like this dog will come, this magical relentless dog will come if you renege on the contract.
Right. So is that a magical force created by the contract, or is it just tapping in the same way you like get a demon to like do a demon pact?
I mean, what's the difference?
Because
one, it pre-exists.
You know, like Mordenkainen's faithful hound, you could imagine someone like writing up a contract that has the spell Mordenkainen's faithful hound woven into it to magically create a magical construct, you know?
Yeah.
And so that would be different than, oh, here's a hellhound. It comes from hell to bite your ass off because his job is I paid him a ruby, you know? Or, you know, not to pay him a ruby.
I like the idea of it sort of being created by the contract.
Right. So that's like, it's an invention then. It's not like an outsider, like it's not a demon itself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess it doesn't need to be a hound.
I mean, it can't either way. I certainly think it's cool. I think that I like the conceit that it's like this legally focused thing that exists to enact contracts.
But it's like, it could be like very mundane stuff. And then this like gruesome flaming beast is like coming. It's like if you're not like paying like your ad, like if you sell advertising and you're not paying out, you're not paying the people that you sold advertising to.
Yeah.
For instance, like this hellhound would come and tear you apart.
He's like a real bureaucrat.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. I like that as an idea. It's like a really well-maintained society that's like, hey, sign into the homeowners association.
Yeah, and then
it's like, your curtains don't match.
And it's like, it would be a sort of last resort scenario. It wouldn't be the last thing, but it would be like third notice. You know, the next one's a dog.
Mm-hmm. I think that's cool. It's just a wizard's paralegal, a wizard's subpoena.
Yeah.
What's a person that serves a subpoena called? I can't remember.
God, if only we knew anything.
If only our brains weren't rotten.
I guess we'll never know.
He Googled it and it was not very interesting.
It wasn't, but that's no matter. I don't even know.
What we call this boy? I got it.
Uh-huh.
It's called a penalty pause. Or an enforcement pause.
Enforcement pause is a lot better.
Enforcement pause.
Yeah.
It's called enforcement pause.
Yep, it sure is. You heard it here first, folks. I'm trying to think of a golden retriever, like, you know.
A scolden retriever.
Well, like some sort of, there's so many legal words. I just can't think of any, There's like a billion.
A legal beagle.
All right, like a
law dog.
A lol dog. Anyway.
I like an enforcement pause.
Yeah, enforcement pause is cool.
Right.
You can use that in your campaign. You make it a wizard's thing.
Yeah.
Wizards need things.
Yeah, like somebody is like desperate and comes to your party because they broke some term of some contract that is now like sort of seemingly impossible to actually set right.
Right.
Like maybe they were supposed to fix some magical artifact and oh no, they fucked up and they used up the reagents that they need to actually do it. Now they need you to get these reagents back and they only have a couple of days before this hound comes to rip their throat to hell.
Yeah, or like someone has an insurance policy that's like, it's like, there's a subclause that if you do something, this thing will come and just take you out of life.
Yeah, it's like you got to read the fine print or somebody will slip an enforcement pause in there.
Right, exactly. That's the world we live in, it's a dangerous place. So that was Animals. Last time we did a fail mail. We don't have a ton of fail mails. Send us your fail mails. We're trying to stretch the ones we have. So no fail mail, just petering back out like we always do to the end of the show. You can email us at mastermanualpod@gmail.com with your fail mails, with your questions. We need them. What else can people do to us?
Oh, if they want to send us stuff.
Right. If you want to send us stuff, email
we'll
Cohen.
Talk about your stuff.
We'll kill each other with swords.
We are going to do that. Somebody really did say they were going to send us some like swords. I'm not going to talk more about it until they get here in case they're full of hot air.
This is a whole scam so far. No, I'm sure it's going to be great. You'll find out when we die. And that's great. And what else? The Discord.
Yeah.
The Gmail account. check it out.
Check it out.
Try
It's not hard
logging
to
in
find.
sometime. No, don't.
Log into our web zone.
Check out Squarespace, the ultimate destination for web savvy business people like me, creatives. Yeah, so that about does it.
Yeah, that'll about do it.
As
Looks
always,
like we booked it again.
mastery is manual.
Do 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 do.
Hashtag